Hey, and welcome to this video. My name is Nina, and in today's video we are going to be building a little neighborhood on this post-apocalyptic island. And so let's just walk over to the area that we will be working in today. So as you can see, we're kind of to the right of the lost city that we have built and kind of behind the plaza, and we are going to create a little neighborhood for 2 villages on this island. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. So I started off by kind of planning the first house plot, kind of. Coming in hot today, the kind of counter. Let's see what number we can get up to today. Kind of, like where it was gonna go. Now, initially, I was thinking that I would kind of layer them very, very close behind each other, but this will shift and be completely different towards the end of the video. So just ignore the first little bit. And then to the left, I knew that I kind of wanted to play around with this like tiny little simple panel build style that I have seen so many people do. And I just love how it doesn't take up too much space if you just layer a loft bed with desk or bunk bed with some simple panels, and you can create very unique shapes of like houses and add some stalls to it or other items to kind of make it a bit more interesting. And we are going to play around with that more minimal style of simple panel building kind of. And while I was talking about that, we actually placed Diana's house. Now then, following this, it was so much pathing incorporated in this build because we basically needed to pave this entire part of the neighborhood. So I really sped it up by, I don't know, 600% or so, which is like twice as much as I usually do. So just so that you don't need to sit through like 6,000 hours, obviously 6,000 of me paving the area. And then as you can see, I usually use the app, like the custom design app, but whenever I have like a larger chunk of, oh my lord, a larger chunk of pathing to do, I usually tend to use the actual like pathing app, what is it called? The Island Designer app. Exactly. And then I just will go like throughout the entire build and kind of make it a bit more detailed, cut some little holes in the pathing to add flowers and other plants, to add some like different custom design codes, such as like the newspaper custom design, which I just love so much. I mean, you know that if you've seen a couple of my builds, you know that I basically just clutter the entire island with cardboard and newspaper custom designs. I just think it looks so cute, and it just, I don't know, it just adds some detail. And whenever I don't know what to put to an area, I basically just tend to try to play around with some more custom designs and plants and stuff to not fill it up with items, because this is already so laggy, but to make it accessible as well, so you can run through the flowers and the custom designs and it still adds detail. Basically, that's what I was trying to say. But again, in a very complicated way, because you know me, what is one of my builds if I'm not trying to make things way more complicated than they actually are? Fun. And like, my brain is lagging. So yeah, then we actually placed the second house. So I sped up the entire process of me paving the area in front of that one as well. So this is extremely fast and it will be over in just a second. I am sorry if that like super speed was like messing with your brain. It is gone now. You can look again. So yeah, and then I was kind of thinking about maybe trying to incorporate a little pond to just add another element of water, which is another method that I like to use whenever I don't know what items to put, or if it's gonna be an area that will be heavily decorated. And I feel like adding like a little pond with some flowers around and like very few details can add so much more than like a huge cluster of items, and it just adds this like more natural element, which I really love, especially in like a more city-esque type of area. I just feel like that brings in this element of overgrownness, even though obviously the water does not have to do anything with that. I just feel like it fits the vibe of that feeling kind of that I'm trying to convey with this island. So that's what I did. And then again, I had to break up the pathing a little bit more because that's what I love to do. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of building nowadays, just breaking up the pathing with different custom design. Because I don't know, I just think it's so much fun. And then I planted some more flowers and bushes and trees because obviously we need them. This is one of my islands again, so we need plants. And yeah, then actually I cannot say too much about the items that I placed because for one, I was trying to really go with this that I always preach, with this feeling of random items and like trashiness kind of. But also this build looks very concise, or it may look very concise, but I, again, had to cut out so much because I was so incredibly indecisive, so that I ended up with 1 hour of sped up speed build footage, and no one wants to watch 1 hour speed build of me trying to make up my mind about where the item should go. And oftentimes it's also me placing an item, picking it back up, placing it back down, picking it back up, placing it back down. You get what I meant? Alrighty. I am at a loss of words at the moment, it seems like, which is perfect when you're doing a voiceover. But I guess that happens when you keep doing your voiceovers at nighttime because you also got a job and you just love ruining your sleep schedule, you know. I just love that so much. And then I broke up the pathing again and I used this beautiful top custom design, which I still cannot get enough from. And it's just this perfect amount of blue that you can very easily add to an area, which is, again, one of my primary colors. I guess you could say it's my secondary color. Green is obviously my first one. And then we got the blue, which just adds a little more than if we would just have like these very, very natural colors like green, white, browns and stuff. So yeah, the next couple of minutes probably will be a lot more of breaking up the pathing, playing with groups of items, but maybe we can talk a little bit more about the villager houses that will actually go here, because I feel like it may be a bit weird to have like these very clean looking houses. And if you don't know that I'm still villager hunting and trying to get the set of villagers that I'm trying to get, it may be a bit strange looking at like clean white houses. In this little area, I was maybe thinking about putting the dark grey houses that are on the list. I will need to check back again whose houses they are, but I will pop them up on the screen right now so that you know whose villager houses they are. I think it were Roscoe and Cashmere. I think Roscoe and Cashmere, they have like these beautiful dark grey wooden houses, which I think would look absolutely lovely in this area. So while I was building this, I was kind of trying to imagine that the houses were a lot darker, just so that I could kind of try and imagine where I needed some more pops of darker colors and lighter colors to make everything feel very balanced, because I really love thinking my builds through like that. Like I love to pay attention to like the tiniest little details to make the colors look very balanced and the shapes and like groups of items look very interesting and dynamic while still looking in tune with each other, if that's a sentence. But yeah, and then to the right side here, we are going to block this off with cliffs in a minute, and we will be adding some more simple panel type of buildings, I guess. I'm still not sure what I'm going to be doing on top of that. I was thinking maybe we could add like a second layer of like simple panel buildings to make this feel very like tall next to the houses, so that they feel very enclosed and like a little suburban neighborhood maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, so we are going to be playing with a lot more of these like tiny little simple panel builds that I was talking about. So we are going to use another of these black antique wardrobes, which I really love. And then we're going to be layering some cliffs behind and then some other items to the right, so that the cliff will be completely covered. And I just really love how that looks. It just, in the end, I actually didn't expect the build to turn out the way it did, and I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with it. There's lots of fumbling about my words, I feel like. But well, what can I say? You're used to it by now, I guess. So have fun with it. Yeah, anyways, that was strange. Back to the build. So simple panels, and then I was thinking maybe I could put like 2 of those like kind of cement looking simple panels to the sides, and then a glass window in the middle. But when I actually got to like run back and customize it, I came up with the idea of maybe adding a stall in front. So that's basically what we will be doing in a second, to just not only have simple panels, because I felt like this area was looking a bit empty. So we will be adding a little stall there in just a bit, and in front of it I just played around with these more natural items. So I added this little wild log bench and the campfire, which I thought would be a very cute idea. And I don't know, I just felt like the dog house with like the campfire and the more plantsy and like oil barrel vibe would go very well together, because it looks like the people there were kind of trying to live off the grid. Not really, but I don't know if that feeling is kind of conveyed, or if it just looks a bit overgrown. In any way, I still really love how it looks, and I'm so happy with the area again. And in this little nook next to Fang's house, which will be either Cashmere or Roscoe, I don't know whose house will be whose. I guess it depends on which villager we find first and who wants to move out at the time, I guess. So that's that. But yeah, in that little nook we are just going to be playing around with a little group of items, which I really love. I was struggling with that group of items so much though, and it took me a hot minute because it was just very difficult for me to balance the colors. You will see in a second. I don't know why I'm talking about it now when we're just starting it now, but I guess it's fine. You know, it's a bit all over the place. And again, I can't really talk too much about why I put stuff where I did, because it was completely random. I kind of just went on autopilot and placed down items, picked them up again, stuff like that. Yeah, but I kind of really wanted to incorporate one of those like air conditioners and some more cardboard boxes, because I had them to the front and I wanted it to be balanced again. One of my favorite words in this build, I feel like. And then obviously I needed some more brown, because the main colors throughout this build are obviously brown, white, and like this more cardboard boxy light brown kind of. So I wanted all of the colors to be incorporated, and maybe even a touch of blue, which we will be bringing in with a little, what is it called? A floating biotope planter, exactly. And then I felt like I didn't really want the air conditioner in front of the floating biotope planter, because those were like 2 white elements. So I swapped it out with this spinning wheel, which I really love, and popped it in front of the bush, the air conditioner. So I really love how this group of items turned out in the end. And then in just a second, we will be playing with some more simple panel building kind of. So we will be pathing the area right in front of the cliff, and then we will be adding some bookshelves, because I wanted to kind of hide the little kind of space right in between the simple panels and the cliff, and you would see that if you would put them this way against the cliff. So I decided to go with some bookshelves, and then we will start the simple panel layering kind of behind the bookshelves. You will see in just a second what I'm talking about. And then we will also be bringing in another bunk bed with some more simple panels to just again bring in that same type of simple panel, if that makes sense, simple panel building, to tie everything together and make it feel like a believable city that can exist in like one environment, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically what I did. And yeah, then I just basically sprinkled in some more finishing touches, some more details, and then that actually wraps up the build for today. So I'm going to leave you now with a montage of the finished product. If you enjoyed this video, I would very much appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the channel, as I would love to have you here. And yeah, take care of yourself until next time, and bye-bye.